For me, it was a journey just to even figure out what the pause even was or what it even looked like. Trying out a bunch of different things, like nails, movies, different self-care, being alone in a room by yourself. I think that's in a journey trying to figure out which pause gives you the real pause. And I discovered that it's nature, being anywhere where there is God's creations. And I'm talking about the big ones.
Yes.
Right. When I go to the mountain, it literally forces me to go, you created this.
Wow.
And its entire source of how it's going to exist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Pause and know he's going to do the same for you. Right. When I'm in camping and seeing the trees and just listening to the wind that goes through the life that's through them, looking at birds, looking at the ocean and seeing the waves and seeing the creatures inside of it. That's when I realized that was my true dynamic pause, because it forces me to think. Those are the only things that forces me to think. The other things are distractions.
Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of The Dynamic Pause with Coach Angie. And today, this is a special episode. I'm calling it the special edition, where I'm taking the opportunity to let y'all into a secret room. It's a secret room, y'all. This is my virtual book club, baddies, girls, all of that. And I love them so much. We have such awesome conversations around the books that we're talking about and all kinds of stuff. So much so that I told them, y'all have to come on the show. Let's just do a special episode. We're just giving y'all a little sneak peek into what it is to be a part of not just our book club, but just to be a part of maybe unexpected community. Because sometimes when you're joining a book club, you're not necessarily looking for community per se. I'm going to let the ladies talk about later what they found in this and all of that. But this is what this episode is about. It's a special edition. I wanted it to happen. I really wanted it to happen in season 1, but we be out there booked and busy. So we just had to wait until we can all do this thing. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to let each one of them describe themselves to you, how they want the world to know who they are. So Tranise, start with you, and then we'll work our way around.
All right. Well, my name is Tranise.
Hi.
To the people out there, Angie, thank you for having us on here. What do I want to say about myself? I am a mom. I am an old mom. Because if I'll tell y'all my little joke, they all know. For those who have known me for forever, I was always on the I don't want Sarah's ministry, but God was like, "Oh, you don't? Bet." Boom. I am a 52-year-old with an 8-year-old and a 5 getting ready to turn 6. So I'm an old mom, but I'm a cool mom.
You a cool mom.
I'm a lover of Christ. I am a lover of the Word of God. I try to be a decent friend. I try to be a decent community member in my community where I live. I enjoy music. I'm a singer. I'm a worship leader.
Leader in corporate
I'm a woman.
spaces.
I'm a leader in corporate space. Yes, this is true. I'm a woman.
Yes.
I'm me. That's Tranise. There you go.
Awesome. Okay, Cheryl, go for it.
Me next. Everybody introduce each other. Like,
that would have been nice.
Yeah,
that would have been dope.
that would have been dope for real, though. But keep going. Okay, so go ahead. Go, Cheryl.
Hello, world. All those out there. I'm Cheryl. I'm a mother of 2. but I'm not old mother, older mother. I'm a younger. My babies are out, empty nester. I'm a person that I love the Lord. I love the Lord's word. I love community.
Yeah.
I love the community that we have amongst us and even out and about. I am a person that loves to shower you with love and gifts. I love for people to come over to the house, enjoy, sit down, small gatherings, and just have a great time. When you come to my house, it's like you're at home. Make yourself at home, enjoy yourselves, do what you do at home.
And then also another leader in the professional
Yes.
workspace as well.
Yes.
We don't have to drop her company names, but
Yes.
she out there leading, doing a thing. We all lead in some sort of way, just in different spaces, which I love about this group. Alecia, go for it, girlfriend.
Alecia, also known as BB, but I think since we're categorizing ourselves as mothers, I'm the I didn't think that all the way through mom, because I have a 24-year-old, a 20-year-old, and then a 12 and 11-year-old. So there's a huge gap. And I thought by having the gap that I would, have like space. But then now that I'm like, oh, I could have been done at 38, not 58. Oh, I didn't think all the way through. So that's me. That's the kind of mom I am. But I am also a dog mom. I absolutely love dogs. And I do social media for travel tips and experiences and pup adventures. And I just really love getting out there and exploring the world in the way that you see it. Yes. Not how other people see it, but how you see it. And then just sharing my experiences and how I explore. So that's just me.
Yes.
And you're the entrepreneurship queen,
yes,
girl.
Absolutely.
In that regard, Miss Terri.
Oh, that's right. I am a travel agent. That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Hey, you forgot the travel part. I am sister of Tranise. In terms of motherhood, I'm a mother of one. I love games. I absolutely love books. I absolutely love a good time. I love family and friends and joking around with the board games and with all the things. Now I'm resources for the federal government.
Yep.
And I just like to have a good time.
Yes.
I like journaling. I like coloring. I like traveling. And I love the book club.
Yes.
The book club is all things that we need to nourish ourselves.
So
I will say Tranise forgot to mention she's an encourager.
Yes, she
yes.
Of her technical skills, she can put anything together. She literally has anything that you need in your house, and she one of the biggest givers I know. She touched on that a little bit.
She did.
And Alecia forgot that she is very quiet but very sweet, and she's always willing to learn, and she's helpful, and she's absolutely gorgeous, which we can see.
Yeah.
And Angie, make sure you hit all yours. If you don't, I'm gonna come back around.
Okay. I literally was skipping myself, but they don't get to see this part of me fully. Okay. But y'all know I'm pretty much me in every space. But since y'all want to do the mom thing, I am the mom who is now the grandma. So I have 4 grands between the ages of 10 and 1. And I am blessed to see them often because 2 are living with me and 2 with their mom and dad, and 2 are like 3 blocks away. So I get to see them all the time as well. And yeah, I mean, y'all know I'm out here just trying to do my thing. I love being in this space with you all because I get to show up as every single me that there is. And we don't always get to do that in every space. We don't even always get to really speak to that side of things. And I just want to put it out there, y'all, we got dressed for y'all because our book club is virtual, okay?
You don't see no bonnets. Ain't in our moo-moo. I put some makeup on.
We literally turning that stuff on with the bonnets, like she said, with our first cup of coffee, not the second one. Today, most of us are on our second. And with our kids and dogs coming in and coming out, like the whole
resting in bed,
but I think
driving around.
Yes,
we're doing some of everything.
Somebody is a get ready with me situation pretty much almost every week, and
Let's
some one of us. But we consider it a privilege to be able to log into our book club with either our headboards from our beds behind us, our
Yes.
the couch, our sleepers, our moo-moos, whatever it is.
Making breakfast.
As you are.
We show up real, okay? And we get to do that. And I do love that. And it was, I forget how long I've been even a part of this book club, but I do recall like it's been in the last 6 to 8 months that I really have intentionally protected that time. And there are sometimes things I've got going on that I will literally tell y'all, I can't come. I got to go do this thing or whatever. But there are lots of conversations that I have that I say, sorry, can't do that. Got book club. Sorry.
Yes.
Sometimes the looks that I get, I'm like, people are like, it's a book club. And but then
but I'm
like, but you don't understand, like that is a space that is literally feeding me, regardless if we talk about whatever we talk about in that day, including the book. It's a literal feeding of the soul. It just goes so deep, so I do protect that time, and I do really appreciate each one of you individually. Like Terri would say, I love how she shouted out everybody for their individual things.
Yeah, but I'm gonna forget because I'm gonna interrupt because you didn't touch your ministry gift.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
She is also an associate pastor, / counselor / advisor. Call her at 3 a.m. If you're on the short list of people, she might answer. If you're not, she's gonna wait to get back to you in the morning. But she's
on that list. She's like, girl, you don't. I don't be answering the phone after this certain time, so you lucky. I'm like, thank you.
Can I just
her impact in the ministry?
Yes,
phenomenal. She's touched so many lives and encouraged so many people in their walk with the Lord.
Thank y'all. Thank
that we definitely point that out, because that is one of the things we are constantly talking about in book club. Believe
is the Lord.
All of our walks with the Lord.
Yes,
He has showed up here to encourage us. We encourage each other, and she gets out and encourages everybody that she touches in that way. So we don't want to forget that part.
You so sweet. See, I think I don't think of it often as another part, because that's just how I'm, like you said, that just comes with you. If you want me around, that's what you get in. Coming too, So.
Well, I think that I love that. The question was book clubs. We started book club during the pandemic. I think, what was it, 2020?
It was
when we started, right around that time. I feel like it was, we started book club around that time, and it's been going strong ever since. One of the things that I feel like it truly has done for us is really helped set, for me, especially over the last year, definitely protect the time. So definitely I felt that, but it really has helped set my Sabbath. Like Saturday becomes my full on Sabbath.
Yes.
I'm not planning 20 million things to do. I don't feel, I look forward to my book club because I know we're about to come and connect and talk, and we're going to talk about our books. I know our family members always crack jokes on, did y'all even discuss the book? Yes, we didn't talk about the book, and we didn't talk about 20 other things on top of that. It is community. It's our small group, and I'm like 100% here for it. I look forward to knowing that I'm going to talk to y'all.
And it's a counseling session too.
Prayer meeting when we needed it to be.
Yes. like women's Bible study.
Yes.
It's counseling session. It's venting session.
Come on.
If you don't have nothing to say, you just listen and fresh from everybody else. Let me tell y'all what happened over here with this person.
Yes.
It's celebrate. Right? We celebrate each other too. We celebrate the wins, the successes, the answered prayer, just all that stuff.
Authentic sisterhood. It really
is.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I know Tranise. That's my blood sister. Cheryl is my extended sister that we kind of know a long time ago. And then, Angie fit right in, so we stole her. And then we just see her. She's last. We just be taking folk. If you get taken, and it becomes really, it's a true sisterhood. Like we be in, even outside of book club, y'all. We be in the always.
That's true.
Yes.
whether it's a video or something that somebody else is doing, like Tranise said, we're very supportive of one another. We are going to show up in the best way we can. And what's unique about that is we're not all in the same place. Well, I'm not. You know, we're not all in the same state.
Right.
But the support is always going to be there regardless.
Yes.
I just saw Alecia for the first time last week.
Oh, yeah, that's
yes.
In
yes.
person.
Club for a year. You know, it's not about the distance or any of those things. Like we for each other, and it's an authentic friendship, sisterhood, which
it really is.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. And so you guys have touched on this a lot already, but we'll just keep going. We cover everything in this space. We've kind of said that. I'm just going to list some: books, politics, travel, relationships, faith, menopause, perimenopause, motherhood, workplace, wins and losses. You know, what does it mean to you to have all of that at the same in the same space, welcomed at the same table? All those things I listed.
So first off, for me, it's a trust thing. So the fact that I trust all of you and I can get real answers from different women in different walks of life, and they all have some sort of common ground, makes me feel not alone. Right. Like, so I can hear that, yes, you'll go through this at this age, or yes, you'll go through this at this point in your life, or I haven't gone, and let me hear what is your experience. And so I just like the different perspectives that everybody gives. And I don't have to worry about, well, are they a faith believer? Do they really know me? What's the context? Like, having that all from all of you really helps me be able to accept and receive what I'm hearing. I love it.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Go ahead.
Because the church I go to is medium sized, but it's enough people that you don't make a lot of close connections unless you're absolutely looking for them. And I'm not a person that would go looking for them. So what this does is this allows me to be in a small group with believers still, and it's a place. It's confidential space. We can talk about whatever it is we need. And it gives me the opportunity to experience small group ministry away from the church, where it's not as readily available. So that's what it's been for me. And just a safe space to vent, to get mentorship, to get feedback, to get, just check me. Am I seeing this right?
Yes.
Am I being selfish in this? And know that whatever answer I'm giving is coming from a genuine place of love.
Yes.
No competition in here. There's no weird drama and all the stuff that kind of can go with that. Sometimes we don't have any of that because we're just us. So what it does for me.
And Tranise, I want to hear your answer but I want to also insert right here that as much as we all get down with one another and we are really floating like right there, the cool thing about this space too is that we don't have to agree. There are topics that we talk about that we literally do not agree, and that's still safe. And it's still cool. I love that about what we do too. Okay, go ahead, Tranise.
Yeah, no, that's good point out, Angie. Yeah, I think if I could sum it up in one word, I think it's just authenticity. Like, you could show up and be fully yourself, fully accepted, fully loved. We don't, and to steal Tim Ross's line, fully loved, fully accepted, even if we don't fully agree. Like, you can show up all the way authentically as yourself. And we hold space for, we don't land on the same page with that.
Right.
Yep, my lean is more here. And no one is ever walking away going, I can't believe it's never that. It gives, number one, on the stuff that we might not land on the same page on, at least it gives you a moment to kind of think about that a little bit more. I love the depth too of on our faith side, some of the deeper things that we'll get into conversation about that maybe we don't talk about with everybody, but knowing I can go, this might come off a little bit this way, but have you considered, are you looking at blah, 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 So I appreciate that wholeheartedly about our group.
Yeah, same.
And I also like the fact that, like you were saying, Tranise, sometimes it's been times when I've come into the book club and just have had, because we're doing another small group where we actually are reading through the Bible chronologically. And
Yep.
something has been gnawing on me for all week long, and I had not talked about it or just really touched on it. And then I come into book club and be like, listen, this is bothering me today. And a lot of times it's either one or two or three people, either they have talked about it or they in the same level as feeling the same thing that you're feeling that day. And we actually can actually discuss it. And then and like you say, and being ourselves, even when there's times, like you said, when we don't agree, I just want to say, listen, at this time, I'm not feeling this. Why do I have to do this? It's the authenticity that someone goes on and be like, well, I understand what you're saying. I feel you where you're at, but kind of little correction. But it's just being, like you said, being yourself and able to just be you.
Yeah.
You yourself, show up as you, not have to hide behind anything or either worry about being in a space where you cannot actually be yourself because you are the one to where if either someone is going to take you the wrong way or sometimes go out and gossip about you.
Right.
On what you were just talking about. And I like that this sisterhood is like this. And it just brings you to tears.
It really,
It
yes.
really
There are
does.
so many days. It's like I was telling the ladies before we signed on to do this that even just preparing these questions, I was sitting there going, I love them, kind of just realizing that I won't ask them every question that I have because I can't, because this will be a week-long show. But I know I could, and I know that it would be rich, like whatever I throw in here. Okay, so speaking of that, because we talk about it being a book club. So has there been a book that we've read together that completely disrupted the way you think about something, whether it be leaderships, relationships, yourself, whatever? What was the book and what did it open up for you?
Gotcha. I'll start. My favorite that we've done so far, and we've read some books.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
But Dr. Anita Phillips, The Garden Within, really just has settled with me in terms of connectivity with all living things, number one, because I think we deal with our humanness, but we don't look at the plants, we don't look at other living sources, and it shows a beautiful, creative picture of who God is and his formula, kind of, if we can look at it that way, on his creation, even down to a cellular level, our similarities, the garden within, and how to bloom that, and what the Lord is working in us and through us. And it gave more context to let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, to be transformed by the renewing, how we are seeing the world, how we are absorbing and taking in his concepts, his precepts. What does it really mean to have it alive in you, growing out of you, being manifest in this world, to what that presentation looks like. That book really dialed it in for me. And honestly, Becoming, Michelle's book,
Michelle's book was good too.
It was like a pleasant surprise.
It was a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
And another one was Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And that one was a good one, right?
Talk about challenge crying.
Yeah.
And the levels of which, even though you can't you're forgiving it, but you still are healing. Yes. You still have levels that you have to go through. You still can cry, scream, and I don't want to have nothing to do with you today or this week or next week or whatever it is. But it still lets you know that even though you've forgiven this person, like I said, you still have a walk in yourself to get where you need to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be times. It's going to be up and it's going to be down.
Yeah.
And then it's going to come around and come back again. She was like, and you forgive, but you ain't got to have relations. Yeah, you put it down and you got to pick it back up again. Yeah. But, it's just.
One of the most powerfuls in that book, too, was when she talked about writing out like all of your grievances that you might have with someone, all the things that you can list that they've done, that they've harmed you, and then taking that red
cloth
and covering it up
with the blood of Christ.
Very powerful imagery. Yes. Very helpful in understanding that is done for you, but it's also done for the person that offended you, like that you have this tension with as well. That was a good one.
It's hard to narrow just one.
I know.
Oh,
If
it's a lot
couple
of them,
comes
Terri.
up, just what?
There's so if we're doing spiritual,
It could be any of them.
okay, so I'm gonna say Tim Keller's Prodigal Guide.
Yes.
In terms of how I was viewing my walk in salvation, but Lovable, y'all know that's my annual.
Girl,
Yes. Come on,
that is
Lovable.
a good one.
I say Lovable because I read it every year for that reason. Like it is something I have to keep going back to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was my first book, like The Garden Within, like a foundational book that made me realize, yes, you can walk with the Lord, but you're still a human, and there are areas we have to address hurt in. That kind of get overshadowed sometimes in the church. You know, the big blanket, Jesus loves you and forgive. They don't give you the tools for how to do that and walk that out unless you're still hurting from life, because life is heartbreaking. So I will say probably Lovable, but that Prodigal Guy by
that Prodigal Son, man, that's a phenomenal one. That was a good one.
And Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. I don't feel like
I love
that was a good.
I love that one. I love that one.
Here, pick one book when we've read so many.
Underground Airline was a good one too.
Underground Airline.
Crazy Eight Tears.
Yes.
And I still got to catch up on that one. Okay, because listen, y'all, this is how our book club is. This is how you know our book club's not just about the book. I was so busy. They were reading this book, what Razor Blade Tears, Alecia.
Razor Blade.
And I didn't even get to read it. And I told them, listen, I'm logging on every week. Y'all talk about the book. Go on and talk about it. I just want to be present. Okay. And then I would have some questions, but I don't have any idea what they're talking about. And it's on my list of I gotta play catch up. And I want to say this too. Ran into Becca, and she's like, I told her we were doing this today. She was like, man, I'm supposed to be the honorary book club member, and I would have wanted to be on this one. And we call Becca the honorary book club member because she has recommended so many of the books that we've read and that we've enjoyed. One of them was The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois.
That was a good one.
But anyway, that book, you guys, if you have not read it, you got to read this book. Oh my God.
Yes.
So I just wanted to throw that shout out. Hey, Becca, we love you, girl. And we're currently reading another one of her recommends. I've got to get caught up with everybody, but she's been pretty good, spot on so far.
It's really good.
Recommendations. Alecia, did you have any that came up for you?
Really good.
I would say the Razor Blade Tears was my favorite.
Oh my God, that was a hot. He was
such a good book.
I can't wait to read it.
Funny, comical, and sad at moments too, but like, and gangster. I was here for that part of it too. I'm like,
I feel like done enough. And this next time is my turn. I don't even know whose turn it is. So that's another. We don't be knowing whose turn it is.
Grab a book.
Every person picks, and we take.
Yeah, because what happens, in all honesty, sometimes we'll start reading a book and we're like, this is whack. So we're just not gonna finish it.
Yes.
Or
like,
we'll read one and
I'll
it has
give
a series.
it about 4 or 5 chapters, and I'm like, no, this ain't it. It's not rolling. But if everybody else like it, I'll go ahead and finish it out.
Right.
But most, I would say 90% of the time, everybody's like, we can put this one up. It's whack.
Yeah, we done with this one.
There's been at least 3 or 4 that we can say that where we're like, okay, are you?
And some of them we just
working for
me through because it was
we
started it, but this is whack.
Yeah.
If it gets
we committed, and so we just go ahead and finish.
Yes, and then the book club is talking about
I gotta listen to authors. We ain't revisiting. We're not.
Yeah, listen. Sorry, we're not gonna. We tried you. It don't work for us.
And so we're fair, because if it's a series or if they've written more than one book, we'll give them maybe it was just that book, and then we try to say, okay, no.
Or you wreck us and you give us 2 good books and then the 3rd book is trash.
Yes.
You then wrecked us on the ending and we over here like
the Bloodborns.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we get it. The first 2, because those are not thin books.
No.
We don't read always 200-page books. books.
We
Some
said
of them are like,
800 pages, some 600
so
pages.
if you're on book 4 of that, we got it. The first
Yeah.
like stop.
Well, we all were clear. Please write the 5th book
And
or
be
4th book, and I think it's 3 books, right? Write the 4th, and we need this series to be
And wrapped
wrapped
it
up.
up.
Wrap it
And
up.
from
Wrap it
my
up.
sister's perspective, and please don't introduce any more new characters. We're
Right.
good.
Yes.
Like the Oathbound series. If y'all trying to figure out
What we're talking about,
are they
yeah.
talking about, it's the Oathbound series. Here we go.
I'd be maxing up people the authors' names.
You ain't the only one, Terry.
Tracy Dion, that's her name.
Oh,
Get
that's right.
into her. Oathbound is the 3rd book, but like we waiting on her to finish this up so we can
Just
finish
don't
that on up.
let's
That's
Wait.
what we do.
We can wait.
and here's the thing.
She said we could wait.
She does build in the characters so well that it
I do think so as well.
you can't keep adding new characters if you're not going to finish it.
Finish the other.
Well, yes, and that just made me think of, I'm going to pause right here and say this too, because this always makes me giggle on the inside during book club. When we're reading our books and stuff, how everybody renames the characters. We're literally looking at printed paper, and we will, that one character will have 5 different names because we didn't.
Yep. So showing up will.
They're whatever their behavior is.
Lila will be Lola, Lillian.
Yeah, whatever their behavior is.
Like, and
All of us are in various phases of
the girls.
Terry
You already
and
know who I'm
menopause.
talking about.
Listen,
That's what
you know who I'm talking about.
Who I'm talking about.
That brings
And
me.
I'm just gonna
Because my
call
kids
by
be like,
whatever they're doing
so and
is their
so.
name. Or what they had on that was whack, that's their name.
Yes.
Whatever, that's your name today.
That is
Now the bad thing about that is that I be at work doing the same thing.
Oh.
You know who I'm talking about.
That's a whole mom thing.
That's a
You
mom
have more
thing.
than one kid. You
Yeah.
calling the other kids
It
by
just-
one of them names, and
Right.
the one that you talking to know who you talking to.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Now, so
that-
everybody is ma'am, sir, young ma'am. I don't have to remember if I just do
Mm.
that. Young sir.
Well, there it is.
There you go.
Yes.
So, okay, we're going to transition into some mom talk for a minute. So, we literally have the full spectrum of motherhood in this group. Like, we really do. Like, it touches every little space. From my kids are old enough that already doing the grandkid things, and then all the way down to just graduated kindergarten is our youngest in the group. Motherhood does look different across our groups. What has this season of motherhood taught you about yourself as a leader in your home or outside of it?
I think the season that I'm in, what motherhood is teaching me is that my role is changing because I have a now 15-year-old and I am moving slowly into more advisory than mothering and telling her what to do, how to do. That it was something that I had to realize, hey, she's old enough.
She got to make
choices in this particular area. And it's, to me, trusting that they're going to tell you if they need help versus just jumping in.
Yeah.
That's it, which can be challenging, but that's the season I'm in. My role is changing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how mine's is and how this year has been. Where mine's is, ooh, Jesus. My oldest is going to be 37 this year.
Okay.
And the youngest one just turned 33. So in this season, for us learning that, just to tell you, your kids are never out of your pockets, even when they're gone and out on their own.
Yes.
Because I had to, but at the same time, when you know that they're doing something for themselves to make themselves better in their life, you do whatever it takes to make sure that they get what they need. And of course, yes, I was working a lot of overtime, and now I don't. Now that she's out on her own and she's doing, she done finished. No, I don't want to even see overtime at all. But I have to say in this season that even though they're older, you get in this season where now they think they're the parents and you're the children.
Well,
and this has helped me as, you know, as being in the group, as to listening and seeing how even with Tranise, with the younger babies, Simone, who is a teenager, and saying, oh my God, she's a teenager now. She's getting there. And then Alecia.
Her goddaughter, by the way.
and goddaughter, and then Alecia with the babies and seeing them too, and then Angie with her, and then Angie has grandbabies, but mine's already said they're not having grandkids. You're not getting any. They already done told me that. They said don't even think about that.
Okay. You have Rosie and Annabelle,
and they said,
and they love their TT. Listen,
I love the fact that they are like they're seeing too, and I've heard them say, they say, Mom, this is really expensive, trying to have some kids, trying to take care of ourselves. And we don't think that's going to add into our finances. That's what they told me. Seeing them grown up to where they at now and what they're doing, it makes you proud as a mom. Mm-hmm. It really does. I'm thankful that I do not have to deal with some of the things that other parents are dealing with.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to swap the question up a little bit for Tranise and Alecia. So what has motherhood required you to pause and reconsider about your own identity? Who are you beyond that role?
Well, I would just say that I'm freshly on just a looking at all the things of who I am and what's made myself who I am in this moment.
Okay.
And so hearing some of the starter points of what I had as a little child in my children has made me go, oh, I didn't realize that I didn't even address that before she even had that issue come up. So if you don't have that, if you don't heal in yourself, if you don't look at the core ports that make who you are, you've also been now parented that way. And so her already having this sense of identity in other people that I've noticed that she's had with friends, like saying, why doesn't this person like me?
Sure.
I don't understand. Why am I the last to be picked? And I was like, oh Lord, I dealt with that. And I never addressed it in myself. So I didn't even see that could be already in a young girl's life. And so having conversations, being proactive instead of reactive would have been more beneficial. And so I've learned that you do have to do the work for yourself so that you can be a very present parent and also show the human side of it as well. But you want to have her to be prepared out in this world as much as we can. We can't protect them from everything.
Yes.
But the things that I've already healed from, I could have already had that conversation with her in advance. So it's just taught me that you need to not ignore and avoid the things that you know you need to work on because it's going to come into your parenting.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
I would align similarly to that. I think at this phase of life, you realize how much your children are watching you and they are learning the world from you. They're taking their cues from you. While you were talking, Alecia, there's Mahalia Jackson song, Things Frame for Me in Music.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, there's a Mahalia Jackson song where she says, I want to live the life that I sing about in my song. So I'm referencing that in the context of, I don't want to be telling them something that they don't see me living.
Amen.
I don't want them to accept something that I'm saying, hey, you shouldn't accept this in partnerships, blah, blah, blah. And they see me living opposite of what my mouth is communicating to them.
Right.
So when it comes back to like reframing yourself, I'm now going, how am I living? What is it that I'm saying? What is the messaging that I'm giving? Because they are taking their cues more from what they are seeing me live than they are seeing the words that are coming out of my mouth. Yes, I got to give instruction, correction, but what they really are taking note of is how you're living.
Yes.
100%.
And so it is coming back to reminding myself, yes, I'm a mom. And yes, I'll refer to myself as an old mom, but I got to mentally take care of myself. I got to physically take care of myself. They need to see me doing that and owning that is something that's necessary. It's something as simple as like, they know in my house, everybody know I'm team sunscreen.
Yeah.
Y'all know.
Yes.
Who got sunscreen in their bag if you need some, don't play with me. And so I frame that for them too, because we think because we're women of color that the sun don't mess with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that we won't get spots or that we can't deal with sun or skin issues because of cancer. And y'all know what my babies look like. Put the sunscreen on you because ain't nobody got time for all the other stuff that's going.
Or three of you are raising a multicultural children.
Yes.
can you guys kind of speak to that and how that's been? Because you're on the other side of it, Angie.
Yeah,
Tranise,
and we talk about it. I talk with my kids about
Mm-hmm.
that.
or Tranise, yours not even multi. Well, yeah, you got multicultural.
She got a mix.
But yeah, can y'all just touch on that?
I will say that in this stage of mom, with my kids being grown, 34 and 30, they both have birthdays coming. But with that, I think what I thought when I was raising them is I was kind of right. But then, you know what I'm saying? I was doing some things that were right as far as like, I was more on team, you need to understand who you are in your fullness. Like I didn't make them pick a side kind of a thing, right? It was more just like awareness of this is all of you. This is everything that you are. Now, of course, being here in America, being Black is something. It's not something you can just stop being just because you know you're all of these things. Now, I think when the kids got into their 20s, I started, because we've always talked about all kinds of things. I talked to my kids about how I talk to y'all almost. So when I was talking to them, I was asking them what was it like and what did they experience, you know, in their teenage years and all of that. And both of them had pretty much the same answer. And Mom, yes, you did a great job raising us to understand like the fullness of who we are, but the world saw us as Black. And that's how we navigated space, right? And so that was good to know, you know what I'm saying? But I was almost like surprised by it a little bit. But at the same time, something you said earlier, Terri, about when you become an advisory, when you start becoming an advisory person for your children, that's a choice to slip into that role. And a lot of parents don't do that. They will stay being the I'm telling you what to do until that child is out the house, grown almost, and never release into the advisory role, which really does damage for the children, but it also doesn't give a lot of space for the relationship between you and your children to go somewhere. And because I did do that advisory move, just like you are with your teens, my kids didn't come to me with a lot of stuff they felt like they could handle. They would bring to me the things that they needed to talk about, and we got down with that. They knew the door was always open. So I say all that to say, when they were in their 20s telling me that they really navigated space being fully Black, I was so surprised by that. You know, I was like, for real? I said, what happened? You know, I was all into wanting to know a little bit more about what their experience was like because of that, because I never knew that. And y'all know, you know, Alecia, she was like, Mom, it was just always that. She gets to spend time with her family and the other side, but she said she's always just, that's how she identifies, that's how she's lived her life, and that's how people have seen her. And so it's really interesting. I don't know about Tranise, about you and your babies.
And my world is different, especially with my youngest, right? Y'all know my babies, who is white.
Yeah.
There's no mix around that.
Yeah.
But it's also growing up in a very traditional Black family experience, right? And her worldview, I'm mindful of that because it's something that we don't think about, like kids feeling like she's not questioning her identity in that sense, but like she wants to be browner. She wants her hair to be curlier. It's her sister's hair is curly. Like her sister is a little more brown. It's that type of stuff, right? Where we joke about it, but we talk about, my gosh, so see it. Just so y'all know how, so y'all get real book club experience right
indeed.
now, because the children are trying to pop into the view. They heard me talking about them, so now they feel like they need to make their presence known. All right, loves, go on. Having said that, you know, there's two things that happen that I think is very funny, because for all purposes and intents, my youngest is us.
Right.
She's just very fair. Very fair. Us. And it is very interesting to watch the navigation of the world, like when we're out in public.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I always feel like you can tell for the people who meet my baby, my youngest, on the first go round, and they trying to figure it out, and then they see me. You can see the dot go click, click, click. Oh, we get it. We understand now.
gonna let you know if you don't know that you're her mom.
Oh, yes,
100%.
that's true. That's true.
100%. And so like we have conversations around that, but what I do try to do is just, remind God made all of our skin. We are all made from dust, and the color of your skin is found on this earth. The color of my skin is found on this earth. The color of your sister's skin. Like, we have that robust conversation around that, and that we're human beings. Just connect as being a human.
And Alecia, I know you have that experience as well. It's your first phase of child rearing. Any stories to share on that?
It's my experience with having
multiracial children.
I think for me as a mom, it was obviously I had a lot of work I had to do, but the constant having to say, yes, that's my son. Yes, that's my son. Yes, that's my son. Like that for me as a mom, as a first time mom, when you're just so excited to even be a mom and having to reaffirm it every single time, and the looks that you got, that I struggled with that. So I intentionally threw my son out in the summer. I was like, you're going to get darker. Because I was just so annoyed. I mean, he's Vietnamese and Black. And then we have my other daughter who's Panamanian, Puerto Rican, and Black. And then we have the little twos who are Caribbean and Black, which you could still say is Black, but there still is a divide there.
Sure.
So it was interesting. The world does still, no matter what, any sprinkle of Black, they could be 75, 85% of whatever other race. If there is a sprinkle, they're Black. So I had to be very intentional about, no, you are this and that. And I do feel like it is the parent's role to affirm that, no matter what other side it comes from. If it's a negative, like I didn't have the best experience with my ex-husband, and he didn't have the best experience with his dad, but nonetheless, he still is culturally Vietnamese. You are still culturally Panamanian and Puerto Rican. And so I think it's important that they know both sides, no matter what side they're raised on. So I was very intentional about that.
Know all their culture.
Yes, that's so good. I love that. When I had Jordan, I was living in Tennessee, Kentucky area. So, and that boy was super fair. That boy was rosy. Okay. When he was born, he doesn't look like he baked slowly, but he got there. Right. But so everywhere we went, people were bold, and people were bolder then, I think, than they are now. And so, yeah, I got a lot of that at the grocery store. Oh, but anyway,
you're the babysitter. Oh,
yes.
I will say this: in my world, that is not the case. When I tell you that my kid is very much mom, you can't help but know that I am her mom.
But you still get the looks though, because
I don't listen. You know what I do?
They be like,
don't even probably notice.
I know you don't pay no attention to it, because
I be smiling, looking dead at you. How you doing?
Okay, so we're gonna switch it up. As Black women in professional spaces, okay, what has been the most consistent thing that you had to navigate that your non-Black colleagues rarely have to think about?
Being heard.
I would just say, it's our, what we would call emotions. So like not seeming angry when you are being direct or firm about whatever needs to be addressed in that moment, right? Because you're the angry Black woman. How your face naturally rests.
God.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's a piece of it too. Don't look angry. That's been a whole thing, right? Tone. My gosh.
Yes.
With how we communicate things. And I think the unnatural, the expectation that now I wear it as a kind of a badge of honor, because I see my connectivity where my faith leads that, but setting the tone for the space that you're in, trying to make, when you're the only one, making people feel comfortable about you being in the space. I'm not making you feel comfortable. I'm bringing comfort in.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Even the
Yes.
reframing of that, I'm not making you feel comfort. I'm bringing comfort in, because comfort walked in the door with me.
Yeah.
And it sets the tone, it sets the space, and I don't have to be dictated to by how you are showing up in space or what your expectation is. But yeah, those, for me in my career, those would be the big ones.
I think these you do set the tone for me. What has worked in the military and out of the military, you have to. For me, I have to show up in this space, and technical work comes before you even get to know me. We're only going to discuss work, and my technical work has to it be your introduction to me.
Gotcha.
I don't do anything outside of that for the first however long until I feel comfortable that now you get to know me as Terri.
That's good. Okay.
You're HR specialist, I'm your HR consultant, and we're here to talk about this work.
Yeah.
So I kind of stay there for it until I'm comfortable and I know that you're not going to cross a boundary where I have to pull you back because I don't do I don't do it. It's not funny. It's not appropriate.
Yep.
So I think how you show up in this space, and for me, my intro has always been, we're here to talk about technical stuff first. And then as we work together, we might start, but now you know me, right?
Yeah.
You know, at first they're like, we don't know how to, that's okay. You don't have to know because we're just here to talk about work. And so this is what
I love it.
I mean, and so then later, for me, that has worked because maybe a month or two in, now we're just talking because you're talking as a person, not a platform.
Yeah. And that's a way of you actually, you're creating your own safe space. Like that's a filter for you.
That's good.
That protects you in your workplace because of your ability to do that and to set that expectation so clearly right up front. It creates a space at your workplace that you know what the ground is. You know what the ground is in there. And I think that most of us don't do that. And so we are navigating that other place. And people are going to they're bringing all that stuff that Tranise just mentioned. They're already bringing that to the room before we even open up our mouths, before, you know what I'm saying? Just when we show up, that's already coming. And then it's like they're out there fishing and cherry picking and trying to figure out how they're going to prove some things that they've already seen. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
because you're there for work, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So
That's it.
getting to know me is for the small group that I am in.
Right.
Like we're to do work. I'm getting to provide a service for you. And you're
not your friend.
What I need to get the service done. Now, after we do that a few times, because you to me can tell when people are the way they are.
Sure.
To me. And I just pick stuff up quickly because I'm like, you can tell even when you come on the screen how some of them recoil or whatever.
Yes.
But when you put work first and you start talking what you're there for and keep it business, that gap gets closed right away because they're saying, we're not doing that.
Assuage, soothe, comfort.
I tell you, one other thing that I had to navigate too with being in a role of leadership was my finances, where I had to go in, and if I'm having reviews with you and I'm asking you, what can I do better? And you telling me that I'm doing great.
Okay.
But I don't see my pay equaling up to what that is. Now we got to have a conversation.
Okay.
And I had to do that a couple of times in order to where, not to say this is for my male colleagues sometimes, and like, okay, how is their pay? What's going on with this? And the sad part of it is that they look for you as to doing twice or three times the more work than what the other ones are doing. That's another thing that I see in that situation too, with being in a role of leadership. And but you don't want to pay me 2 or 3 times more of the pay.
Right.
So it happened the first time, and then after that, it never happened again. Now, I don't know if it was the conversation that they were having amongst each other after that, but after that, it exceeded. It was fine.
Well, you spoke up for yourself enough for the gap to be closed. A lot of that space, people that don't look like us will say that they've dealt with that similarly too. I would say a lot of women could probably have that same story, but there is still another divide. There's still another piece of gap that happens for Black women and women of color in general. I think people, until we tell them, no, I see that I'm doing good too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you see that I'm doing good, but I actually see it as well. And so how are we going to address that? Like, because
Yes.
So can
sometimes
I
they
jump
can
in
see
and
we're
talk
doing
about?
good, but they think we don't see it. And I know there's been times in my life I hadn't seen it. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's the
So
like you have to reframe how you even show up to work, because to Cheryl's point, to ask for the pay for the work that you're doing,
sure.
if we can be honest and say, have the conversation that we've been taught to be grateful for the job that
And
we
quiet
have,
Yes.
and just
Yes.
to
go
be
with the flow.
quiet, to
Mhm.
work the way that we work,
Yeah.
but to be honored that we're doing there, and not realizing where I think that there is a miss. And now I'll just speak culturally.
Yeah.
This is a business transaction that you're making with this company.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do this work for you. I'm going to bring this level of excellence of work for you,
Yes.
and I want this type of pay for it. We have to start having that conversation with our kids
Yes.
with
Yes.
when we're talking about that, because that conversation wasn't had with me.
Same.
And my parents weren't even at the place to have a conversation with
They
me
didn't
like
do
that.
it. In all due respect to our parents, though, Tranise, they didn't work in professional atmosphere.
They
That's what
didn't. They did, but no, they did. What I was going to say, that's not a
Yeah.
diss on them. I'm
Yeah.
saying what we were taught, though, be grateful that you have a job. You're happy that you're working in the space. And yes, be thankful that you have the job. That doesn't mean that you can't ask for what you are worth
Yes.
being paid in the job. I'm saying oftentimes our brain gets stuck in just be thankful and be grateful that you have a job, especially when we're in an economy where people are losing their jobs. It's all the things. So then your mouth stays quiet
Sure.
for the work, what you
So
should
you
be
to just
asking
accept
for,
it.
so that you just accept it. And people can see, companies, corporations, they can see who's bringing value, but they also are looking for you to kind of advocate for yourself in that
That's what I was
space.
about to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
But if you've never seen that, if you haven't had that conversation, that's a mind shift to
It
get
is.
to that place, to start, hey, let me reframe how I'm thinking about this. And yes, we are doing business together. So let's make sure that these numbers work for both of us. The work that I'm giving you, like, we got to stop devaluing ourselves or
Yeah.
feeling like, because the economy is bad, because of this, that I
That I
shouldn't
can't ask
ask
for
for
this.
this.
Yeah.
No.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, that it's a real place.
It is. I think you have to, though, like you said, advocate for yourself. And I wasn't disagreeing with you even on the parenting. What I was trying to say is they didn't have to because they had unions in place.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
did
was
have a lot of
like.
unions.
They were
Gotcha.
very different world. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it was just happy. It was just the union takes care of
It really does.
Everything.
It
very
They
negotiated
fought
it
for
for
their
them.
pays and
very
everything
much
else.
seniority based, and all of the stuff is already
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
versus what I was going to say to you, Cheryl and Tranise. A lot of it is advocating for yourself, because you do, just sitting on the other side of HR, seeing it every day. There is a perception about us, of people of color, that sometimes these managers are afraid to even say how they really feel. So they might say, yeah, you're doing good. But in behind closed doors, they're saying they need to work on A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them to work on A, B, C, and D.
D. Thank
So
you.
I tell people, and not just people of color, when you have your first performance review, and if there are 5 categories, you ask, what does it take to get to outstanding to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Production number, is it finished this many within this time frame? Make them define those roles,
That's
right?
so
Yep.
good.
So
Yeah.
that when you come back midterm, you have been keeping track and saying,
I've done.
I've hit this metric, what you're measuring. Because now when I get to the end, you can't just give me this blanket statement. Like I tell people all the time, like, you need to understand what they're measuring against.
Yes.
And so whatever is on your performance review or whatever, your job,
Mm-hmm.
you make sure they spell that out for you. If you get a new supervisor and that one leave, you ask, because you want to know, how y'all measuring great? How are you measuring good? How are you measuring barely making it? Because you guys tell me I'm doing good and I think I'm outstanding, because I don't know what your version of that is.
It's so
Yeah.
true.
If I know it and I know I'm hitting it, you're gonna have to tell me why you gave me this.
Right.
it's really advocating for yourself up
Yep.
front and all throughout that appraisal cycle to make sure you're on track with what you see. Because to your point, Cheryl, they do want you to do a lot of times above and beyond. But let's be honest, it's not hard to do. A lot of these people
No,
are
no.
workers. So if you know, you told me outstanding was getting production down to within 90% or more for this
Mhm.
time frame, and I'm hitting 92, and Bob is hitting 82. You're gonna have to explain to me how he got that.
Right.
Yes.
That part. Alecia,
That's how I say about that. Make them tell you.
exactly.
That, and I think also lean into like, so that whole managerial change piece
Mm-hmm.
of it too that Terry's talking about. Lean into letting them know this is where I want to go, and I'm going
Yeah.
to be leaning into you for that. I'm going to be looking for your feedback on that because I'm looking at my next promotion or the next place that I want to go. Like,
Yeah.
because I just recently changed supervisors, and I said to this person, "Hey, I want your job, so I'm leaning into you for that. I need you to show me my gaps where I'm at right now and how to fill them up. So when this position comes open again,
That
I
you
want
you
to
put
I want
you
to be ready for
And
it,
Tranise,
right?
that's so good because now you open the door for them to give you honest feedback.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you're doing this really well. I think you should do this better. Or this is where I was at your point. This is how you get like now you let them know you're accepting feedback and want it. So that's
Yes.
actually really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just encourage people like in your professional roles as you're doing this, like everything ain't we don't want to do this for you. They also are looking to see where your interest is at too. And people are going to feed into you based off your accessibility. And I'm saying that the company that I've been with for 9 years, going on 10, and missed a couple of promotions. And at the point when I felt like I'm done, I'm not going to ask them again. I was looking elsewhere. Our director, like CEO, our VP actually tapped me and was like, "Hey, I keep hearing all these cool things about you." So somebody was talking about me. So yay for the
Mhm.
people that were talking about me in the room that I couldn't get into,
Amen.
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
coaching, that was my first, hey, hang tight. Let me blah blah blah. And my VP still taps in with me.
That's good.
That's real.
I want to ask
And
Alecia a question
yeah.
real quick about, sorry, Tranise,
No,
about
yeah, no, go ahead.
this from a different perspective of entrepreneurship, because she and I are kind of rolling in
Yeah.
the streets in that way, different businesses. It's not always about the business you're doing, it's that entrepreneurship mindset kind of a thing. And I think that that similar approach has to be taken when we're out there presenting ourselves and what we're selling. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's connected to who we are as people and all that kind of stuff. So what would you say, Alecia, that you may have navigated in that space similarly as far as like how you've had to show up compared to somebody else that maybe doesn't look like you?
So I had to keep it corporate still. I had to have the mindset of it still. Just because it's my own business, I have to be very corporate. I'm not your friend. I'm here to bring the value into what I have and be, I don't want to say overconfident, but overconfident in our head, but it'll come off as confident for them, if that makes sense. Like I have to 10 toes down. I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to settle on my rate because you're not going to ask other corporate businesses to settle on their rates. You're not going to ask other corporate businesses to, move around and extend deadlines. If this is what it's supposed to be, this is what it has to be. And I really, contracts, my best friend. Okay. Contracts, everything in writing. And you have to treat it as if it is a corporate job. And that for me was the best way to navigate on selling my services, advocating for myself and building in the value and saying no.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes that's what it is. And in all of what you guys have explained, sometimes it is no. And I know I've coached people before who were needing to go into a room and advocate for themselves where they hadn't advocated for themselves for many years, being at a company for many years and never advocated, but they know that it's time. And I can think of one person, it's like it was time for their title and it was time for more money, right? And it's getting in that mindset of understanding like, Are you willing to stand in the room and speak on your own behalf with that confidence that you know what you've been bringing to the table, and also be okay if a person's going to respond back to you with not taking you up on that offer? Like, do you believe in yourself enough to stand in a room where someone's going to look you dead in your face and say, thank you for giving it to me for free for all these years, but I'm still not going to give it to you? Right. And so, and you have to be, your mindset has to be that you're willing to stand in that room and still say, well, this has been well. I'm going to start looking, or I'm going to, be able to say that you're going to start looking for what you need to look for as well, because people form different things in their mind. Like we were saying, sometimes they come to the table with something already in their mind about us as a general group, but then they form things about us individually as they do start learning a little bit more about us and who we are. Terri, to your point of view, like not letting people get to see too much of that, so that you don't need to know that, because you're gonna try to use it for something, right? But
you just gotta feel first, right?
Yes.
Again, when you show up to work, you're there to produce work. That's the
bottom.
Everything else,
you have it in
else is subsequential of that, right? Like that, we have to get to work first. And so if we can build personal out, that's great. And if we can't, that's great too, because we can work together on what we're actually here for.
Right.
But sometimes they come to the table too thinking that, oh, you ain't going nowhere, you need me. It's not like I need you. And they feel that you're not going anywhere. But to that point, Angie, I heard you having that conversation yesterday with someone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I wasn't trying to ear hustle, but I was just there, and I was like, I like the way she coaching her. Yes. And holding that conversation with her. And I was like, that is really good.
That's funny.
Like, hopefully you got something lined up before you ask, though, because if you're going to advocate for to your point, Angie, and saying, I'm willing to break ties, you want that done immediately. You know what I mean? You want to kind of have an out kind of in your back. I just wanted to see if I can, if you don't see me in it, cool. It's all good. I'm gonna let you.
And I think in that aspect yesterday, I don't think it was breaking ties, but it was to the point of, I've been at this role right here. I'm sure that I can be here, but you're leaving me here.
Mm-hmm.
When are you actually going to value what you're getting and bring me here?
Right.
And give me the chance to show that I can actually do what I'm supposed to do, And if I get to this role and I can't, then that's when we hold this conversation again.
Right.
But it was just one of those things where, and I've heard this before too, where people was complaining, they're not complaining, they're actually venting on you and saying, hey, I can do this, and they're not giving me the chance to do that. But have you had that conversation with that person to let them know that, like Tranise said, I want to be here, and I want your role. I want, when this time comes up again, I want this position. But I think sometimes and it could be to the point where, like Terri was talking about too, is that you done got to a friendship versus a work relationship, and they value you as a friend and be like, well, they can't be here or they can't go there. And then you can have sometimes where the person is fearing that you're probably going to take their role too.
Yeah. Well, and also just because this, my podcast is all about leadership and all of that. When I hear things like that, what sometimes it is just someone who isn't leading well. You're not leading well. If you are coming into this space and you're relying on a friendship or even some sort of relationship, sometimes people can call a workspace where we're like family and use it as a reason to not act right. You're using that as a reason to not lead properly. It's easier for me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm thinking of you like as a family member or as a friend of mine, I might get a little lax on how I'm doing things. And I also do think that some of that stuff is caught, and it's been caught by how they were led, and then they're bringing that into their leadership. And it's really just a faulty leadership stance.
Yes.
And that people don't do well of understanding, like, what is the criteria? What is the expectation? I love, Terri, that you said getting people to define what those metrics are. And we take that concept, and it's define the metrics, define our communication,
Yes.
standards and procedures and protocols of how we communicate with one another as well, right? Because if it's defined, then you can't just come after me because I didn't come in here and smile at you a certain way. My smile went to here instead of here, and then now all of a sudden you're putting a whole
You and
different
your feelings
filter
because it
on
ain't your
what
work
is showing
relationship
up today on,
or your
and
work
vice
ethic.
versa. You know what I'm saying? I think that we have to talk out loud about what does it look like when things aren't going well? What does it look like when we have disagreements at work? How are we addressing those things? What does it look like when someone has a bad day and actually steps over the line in the wrong way? What does
Yes.
accountability look like? What's a buffer? Are we having a buffer? All of those things are real life things that some leaders just don't think about. And what they do, they just show up as them. Okay. And then who you are might not be appropriate for the workspace. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
Yes.
Right.
we really have to think about that as leaders. And I love about our group is we're all professional women and we all bring all these different experiences to the forefront and into what we're doing. And I often think about how a little sprinkle of all of us are just out in the world doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? And Terri and I are both veterans and we bring that with us into our spaces and we tease each other because she was Air Force, I was Army.
Yeah, she was in the wrong one. We're not going
whatever, you know.
Don't go there.
But yeah, I love that. So we're getting close to going to wrap it up, but I want to throw in a couple of questions through the lens of the pause and the dynamic pause, because it's named that, so we're going to have to talk about it a little bit. But not so much about everything that I built into the whole coaching framework. But I just want to ask you guys a couple of things. So as women, you guys are holding a lot professionally, personally, in your families and communities. What does it actually look like for you to stop? What is your version of a real pause?
Saturday mornings for me at 11, my time, not your time. That's what it looks like to me to pause. And I'm so serious. It is making time for as often as possible. You may miss a day or two, but definitely having community, definitely because we're all believers, staying in prayer and connected to God first and literally saying, help me, more of you, less of me, because we know what happens when I show up. And then I'm learning and have learned over life to just hold things a little bit. Part of pausing is holding things a little bit more loosely in my hands.
Yes.
Flexible God. And it's okay because I am a planner, but I have had over the last year, you guys know, several areas where, because security is a big thing, I've had to be very much releasing the realms on a lot of areas and saying, okay, but I need to remain flexible and allow God to be God in some spaces.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that part of the pause and taking care of yourself is really trusting Him.
Yeah.
And just be a little bit more looser in your hands with all these different things.
Yeah.
Can't plan, but just holding things a little more loosely is what I would.
That's really good.
Yeah. And Saturdays me and Tranise were just talking about that. I said, girl, Saturday has really become my Sabbath. I say I make plans on Saturday, but they don't come through. I can say I'm getting ready to do X, Y, Z. And guess what? I am laying up in pajamas all day long, stretched out, probably binge watching back and forth, everything on TV. Come think I gotta watch the Baddies today.
Girl, so I did not watch my Baddies. That show happened.
And then I've also learned to, like Terri say, just take your hands off, because life be happening and you can get wrapped up with your family. They always known for years that when I was working, 7 o'clock was my shut off time.
Okay.
No phone calls. If phone calls came after 7 or 8, 8 or 9, it was an emergency.
Sure.
Right.
Other than that, it was done. 7 o'clock, all the phones went off, just so I can get my time to go to work and this, that, and the other. And then now massages. I do massages now.
Okay.
And then just have that time for you. Just taking the time and just putting yourself up and turning off the electronics, don't do anything and stuff like that. Because sometimes I'd be like, I pick up the phone, I say, ooh, It's 120 Texans on here. What is going on in the book club?
Definitely have been. I felt like I've been having that, but I will say same thing. Obviously, the Saturday, our book club time is protected time, but
Yes, it
Sabbath
is.
for me really has become my Saturday. I really have like book club is protected time, but I'm trying to not make 20 million plans for myself to do anything on Saturday. And I don't have to apologize if I sat in my robe, if I stayed home, if I didn't do
Not
anything,
at all.
because I
Yeah,
feel
That.
like we were feeling that way. And I'm like, come on,
you're
the
right.
Lord, God rested on a day where he wasn't doing nothing,
Ooh,
but in
yes.
taking in what he created, resting from the labor of
Mhm.
work. And we are allowed to rest from the labor of work. And my baby is showing y'all.
And
Having said that, so it's one of those things. It is being able to like
yes.
I can take that day and just be like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing nothing. And I don't owe
Mhm.
anybody an apology. I don't need to communicate about that. I don't have to try if somebody invites me to something, yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
available. And that's
Yes.
just it. I don't have to explain why I'm not coming. It is I'm just not available or I'm just not
Mhm.
going to be
Yeah.
doing that thing today because we need to rest. We need to take care of
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
We need to have those moments where we are our the body check in. That's my other little pause
For that
that
too.
we got from I'm going back to the garden within,
Yeah.
waking back when we're waking up, just doing that. What's going on before I step out of that bed?
What's
How am I
happening today?
feeling? Checking in
Mhm.
with my body,
That's good.
Mhm.
checking in with what is the thing that what's the thought that's on my mind. And
Mhm.
because I have been doing that, I've been having more of a focused, whether it's a song, whether it's a scripture, because I'm doing that,
Sure.
it's better setting the tone for how I'm getting up
Oh, I love
Yes.
it.
in the day.
Yes.
Just doing that little thing, checking in with my body, checking in with how I'm feeling, checking in with what mentally is moving into my thoughts.
Mhm.
That is a pause. Taking that moment to do that. And then there's other little ways that I pause. Now I do my own, I'm a press on girly. Y'all know they could be long, they could be short, just depends on the vibe. But that is also a way that I pause for
Mm.
myself. It is just that little bit of self-care. And when you've been not feeling yourself for a long time, and I mean not feeling myself like I'm feeling myself. I mean like feeling like who you are, like the
Yeah.
essence of who you are.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
me, I feel like I'm getting back to that.
It's a
My sister can
release,
I
a
can
attest to
relate.
that.
I
releasing,
see it.
a
Yeah.
releasing.
You
Yes.
you can attest to
Every
that, right?
day.
Like
Yes.
Every day
I
I see it
Yes.
because
more.
of it, and it was to Terry's point, what these things that you've been holding on to,
Woo.
these
Yes.
ideas, these concepts of
Trying
what
to
we think
juggle it
this is
all.
supposed to look like. I touched on it a little bit earlier. Am I living what my mouth is saying to my daughters?
Hmm.
And guess what? We're pivoting.
Yeah.
There's some pivots, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Yes.
sometimes the pause is a pivot
Yes.
where you
Yes.
have
Yes.
got to change your space. You got to
Yes.
Yes.
change
All of
how
that.
you like your purview.
Mhm.
Environments have to change.
Yes.
Sometimes that's the
Yes.
pause.
Yes.
The pivot is the
Mhm.
pause. The pivot is getting you to your next
Absolutely.
pause,
Yeah.
right? So that you can take inventory, so that you can take stock, so that you can reset.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. Alecia, what about
For
Alecia?
me,
For me, it was a journey just to even figure out what the pause even was or what it even looked like. Trying out a bunch of different things, like nails, movies, different self-care, being alone in a room by yourself. I think that's in a journey trying to figure out which pause gives you the real pause. And I discovered that it's nature, being anywhere where
Mhm.
there is God's creations. And I'm talking about the big ones,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
When I go to the mountain, it
Yes.
literally forces me to go, you created this
Wow.
and its
Mhm.
entire source of how it's going to exist in the world.
Mhm.
Pause and know he's going to do the same for you, right? When I'm in
Yes.
camping and seeing the trees and just listening to the wind that goes through the life that's through them, looking at birds, looking
Mhm.
at the
Mhm.
ocean and seeing the waves and seeing the creatures inside of it. That's when I realized that was my true dynamic pause because it forces me to think. Those are the only things that forces me to think. The other things are distractions. Getting my nails done, I'm gonna
mm,
look all cute and yes, it makes me feel good. But am I really sitting down thinking, do you love your body? Do you love the color of your skin?
Come
Do you
on.
when the people
come
are saying those
on.
Yes.
things to you, How are you going to shift that thought of going, instead of going, yeah, you're right, maybe I do need to go and have plastic surgery and change all these things. No, those are distractions from really allowing me to have the pause and think clearly. And the only thing that I do that is when I'm in nature. I have to look at what is natural and touched and divine that the God has created, and I'm forced to use my thoughts.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my gosh. And I think it's all of that, right? It's all of that. It's perpetual. And to your point, what's bringing it in one season might be something else in another season. It may not be that we ever let it fully go, but it's just like who we are and who we are becoming, and we're always becoming. I think being comfortable with the becoming, okay?
Yes.
Being comfortable with the idea that while we're here on this side of eternity, we're never going to reach a point where we have arrived, and it's okay, and it's not a bad thing. It's like literally getting comfortable with the idea
Accepting
of
yourself.
Always becoming, slowing ourselves long enough to acknowledge the beauty, the everything that comes with who we are, and like to Alicia's point, what God has taken the time to make in us and through us. Because I love that you said that. Just like all the pieces that go to a mountain, the mountain, we get to see the mountain a lot where we're at on this side, a particular mountain, which is gorgeous. When it's out, when she's out, oh my gosh, it makes you want to just stop moving and just enjoy and soak it up.
Absorb it.
But what you said today, Alecia, that really is sitting with me is the idea of all of the little pieces and mechanisms that are happening. There's all kind of light flowing in and through there. There's all kind of elements, because we got some snow, we got some dirt, we got rocks, we got, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's just something about that idea that if he's taking all of the time to put all of that together and match that with what Tranise said about the garden within, and just kind of pausing long enough to realize all of the different things that are happening within us. Come on now. It's like that allows us to be even more grateful for these moments and this times of community, like what we're doing right now. It's just like, what are we bringing to the table? We're always bringing something. So we don't have to worry about not bringing nothing. Right?
Yes. And that is just awesome. Even Angie, you did the garden. I say you guys did a garden this year, right? Don't you got a garden in the backyard?
Alecia has a garden. Girl.
She said Alecia has
Angie ain't got no garden. It's in Angie's yard. Alecia. But Alicia's always trying to get us out there. That's my granola girl. I call her my.
And it feels good with your hands in the dirt, because it's and the beautiful
that's
thing.
What y'all
like
say. Look, that's what y'all say.
That's what y'all say. And just like
I like to eat the stuff from the dirt.
My zucchinis are coming up, and guess what? I got about 10 flowers out there, beautiful flowers, and you already know what's going to come from that.
You get rid of chipmunks that was running through there trying to eat them?
You already know I done sprinkled some mothballs back there, and I ain't seen none no more over here. They
went and got a friend when I was there. They was all in her space, sniffing, trying to find it.
All up on the porch and everything.
But another one, like,
they were like, Jack, they said,
I got some mothballs back here, and I sure dropped the mothballs, and I ain't seen them no more. My strawberries are coming out, the tomatoes is coming up, the broccoli is coming up, everything is coming up.
That's so
yes,
cool.
It is.
Yeah, we got stuff going back there. So one last question, and then we're gonna wrap it. Okay, what would you say to a woman who's craving this kind of community but has not yet found it, or does not believe she deserves it?
Did you see that? Did you see that face?
Did you see Alicia's dip?
We can start with Alecia since she's feeling it so strongly.
Alecia, question.
Girl, what's your testimony? Go ahead now.
Lord. Yeah, you are for sure deserving, and you don't have to show up like everybody else. I think for me, that was the thing. I had to be talkative. I had to have as much knowledge as them. I had to have as much lived experiences. And that just wasn't me. Like, there's so many times where I've come into the group that you guys all know, and I don't say a word. And you still include me, which is really weird. You know what I mean? It's the, oh, and I know she does this. oh, we see you there, girlfriend. Okay.
Yes,
Like
yes.
you just keep the conversation. And so finding a group that truly, Lord, I'm not going to do it.
Yes, you can.
Finding a group that truly accepts you organically as you are it will change your whole experience of how you show up in life, because you're no longer settling for people who don't.
Yes.
You will no longer settle for people who want you to change, because there are people in the world that will accept you in all stages of your life, from when you want to be loud, from when you want to be quiet, from when you want to cry, from when you don't want to show up. And I tell them to text me. Don't not text me, tell me to come in anyway. But they really accept you as you are. And for me, I didn't want to join groups. I have female issues just because I wasn't being accepted how I organically was. And that one invitation when you say just go, and I'm so glad that I did, because you guys just really accept me for who I am, reading books and all. I wanted to come reading, a chapter every week, and y'all were like, we don't do that. And I was like, okay, but it's great. I don't know. I have no words as far as just like you accept people how you are and find that group. Yeah. Anytime you are having to settle, anytime you're having to change your opinion, or if you're afraid to say how you really feel, or afraid to give any parts of how you are, even if it comes to, let me help you with that, you need to find that group, because if you're not in that group, that is not your people. Flat out. Yes. They're just not.
Very nice.
Yes.
And I would add to that, it should be easy, right? I think your group should be easy. If you're there and you're struggling to feel comfortable, you're struggling to fit in, you feel like you now need to change, that's not your group. And that, Angie, if you don't feel you deserve it, you need to pause on if you're ready for a group. Because the reality of that is, if you don't feel worthy when you come in, you're going to feel less worthy. If it's a good group or not. So you got to first deal with why you feel that. And not accepting that you're worthy of love just because God made you. And if you're not accepting his love for you, that it's not based on anything, that you have worth and value just by being here, not a title, not how you look, even though we like to look and get our hair, that's not who you are. Just if I was laying naked in tennis shoes and a house robe, I'm worthy of love. If you're not there yet, wherever you're going to show up, you're going to be trying to pull something from somebody they can't give you.
Yes.
Go to that with, if you're not a Christian, whatever you believe in, and get that before you show up. Because you're either going to hurt somebody or be continually hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to show up perfect.
No.
But there's a baseline level of relationship that requires to at least know that you're worth something. And there are times where we do have to come along people. It's a season where they are in a low place. I'm not talking about that. That's way different.
Yeah.
That you don't feel worthy of love, you're in trouble, because you're going to be with somebody that's going to either abuse you or you're going to abuse somebody.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's the key, is because it's, if you walk in, if you're battling that, that's one thing. But if you go into spaces expecting other people to be able to solve that for you, you mentioned that, Terri, that's the problem, because some people are intuitive enough to pick up on that, but that doesn't mean they're mature enough or whatever, just not sadistic enough to exploit that. Because some people will exploit that thing that they see, and some people will see it and they can't do nothing with it. They already know, they've learned in their life already that they tried to answer that question for somebody before and it just got real messy. So they're going to stay way over here. So they're not, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, because it's going to get bad. Right. And so I love that you said that. And because people don't often even pause enough to see that, see that that's what the issue is. And so when I throw a question like that out there, it's on purpose, because I use that big old word, deserved, on purpose, because people have to understand what their relationship even is with that word when it comes to themselves. And for some people, it comes real easy and it's just automatically there. But there are a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of women in a lot of spaces where people don't feel that. and their whole life is working to not let everybody else know that they feel that.
Lovable and garden within.
Yes, yes.
Get on it.
2
Go
books.
get that.
There
That's
you go.
the book. Okay.
Those
All
2
right.
books.
Cheryl or Tranise?
Yeah. I will branch this a little bit differently and say the scripture that came to my mind as you were asking that question was, he who wants a friend must first show himself friendly.
Woo.
Hear that for what it is.
Yeah.
Some of it is you, and I'll speak for myself because I know that I possess this. Angie, I know that you possess this too. We naturally have people kind of gravitate towards us. I'm aware.
Y'all do have some.
I know that I possess that thing. And that's God, that's a godly gift. There's nothing there, but I'm saying show yourself friendly. So the first portion of that is, if you want a friend, you be friendly. Be a friendly person, be a friendly individual. Also, you got to do the other part and cast the net out there.
Well,
if it's you looking for your girl group, tap a couple of ladies.
Yeah.
Tap 5 and only 3 respond. Don't waste your time spinning your wheel about why the other 2 didn't come. Tap into them 3 that tapped in and responded. And it's also work and take relationship, right? Like there is a building, there is a learning, there is a trusting in there, right? And if you keep showing up, you can cultivate something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love, you hear us talking, there's some books that, as you can see, that has things. Becoming was one of them. Michelle talked about bringing new people to the table, inviting someone new. So you can have a nuclear group, and we'll use book club as an example. It was me, Angie, and Cheryl, and my sister Terri. Our new is Alecia. Alecia is not new, like brand new, but like it's the, hey, I want to open this up. I'm going to cast it. I invited 2 young ladies. Alecia showed up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited my sister a long time ago, and Terri invited a coworker. And
it's Miss Linda used to be in here too.
People to be a part of this. The thing is, and I hold this sacred. Now I can't say we're gonna be doing the invites too many more times. What I'm saying is, and to Alicia's point, remember when she didn't even turn the camera on, but we would just acknowledge, hey, you're here. We see you. Tap in when you want to, and sometimes she would type talk.
Yes.
Her thoughts in there. However that is, we can handle all of that. We can hear all of that. We can move through that. I do just want to say there is something about, you want a friend, be a friendly person.
Yes.
Be a friendly person. Be approachable. Be able to have a conversation, and don't make it about who didn't show up. Because that clicky thing, and I'm just gonna say it because it happens in church. I don't know where the weird comes from. That it's weird. I've been in church all my life, and when people get into this, man, if your tribe is these 3 people, and y'all connected, and that's good, amen. Bless
you don't
the
have
Lord.
to have no big old tribe.
You don't got to have who you think is the end person, whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
The end person might be the messy person in your group.
That might be the messiest person in your whole circle if you put them in there. And now you feel like you got to put over pretenses with people.
You're jumping over truth at this point.
Yeah.
You guys are jumping over giftedness. It's like a firefly to a light.
Yep.
Oh.
You guys have this ability because you guys are gifted in a way that you make people feel at ease, because you're on the stage, because you're worshiping, because you're speaking, because you're doing all these things on the stage. It looks very inviting. Always this way too. And I'll tell you, my siblings have it. I don't have it. I've never had it. I don't.
I don't have it either, Terri.
Either I rock with you or I really don't rock with you, and that is okay. But they have the ability to be very social to people and make everybody have a good time.
Because that doesn't cost Tranise and I anything. I'm going to speak for you in that.
Yes.
Yeah,
that doesn't cost us anything. We don't feel it when we do it, because that is literally just who we are.
Yes.
But I think to Terri's point, I think that, yes, I think that because of what people don't experience out in the world, or what they are experiencing out in the world, when
this
they
is
actually
different.
meet somebody in that, you're getting that full attention in that moment. I really do want to know about what your baby's doing. I really do want to know all that. But my growing in that, though, where I've decided to take it up a notch and be okay that this is a protected space, right? And to be okay with that, and not to make someone feel bad, because I love, like, the answers that you guys gave about people being able to pursue this kind of thing for themselves, but just so that I can live in my full truth, because I was one of those people who grew up not experiencing things to the fullest, or not expressing my joy to the fullest. As smiley as I am, there are things that were about me, or that were mine, or accomplishments, or whatever, that I will not express out loud because I felt bad about being joyful, having something that means something to somebody else. So part of my evolution is living in that fullness of truth, of joy and happiness and all of the things, still being Angie and letting them get that part of me, but also being able to say, but there's certain parts of me that are not for everyone, and definitely not in every season. But being sensitive, Terri, you brought this up about the ministry part. I don't wake up and say, Lord, what's my ministry today? I assume my whole life is ministry, which is why when people say that whole thing out loud, I don't get it. So with my whole life being in service to him, it's more like, Lord, this is a part of my prayer. Lord, whoever it is that you have me engaging with today, let them hear the words that you want them to hear.
Yes.
Wherever I'm going today, Lord, let them see the light of Christ, even if I've never had a conversation with them. Experience you somehow, God, through all of this stuff. And I do that whether I'm going to the church, to a networking meeting, to, to whatever it is that we've got going on. But it is close to that time, y'all. We're going to wrap it up, because I just want to be able to say, thank you guys for honoring me with this, because y'all wouldn't know this. I'm going to say out loud, we recorded this on our normal time of doing book club together. Yes, we all made it to the table. Everybody was dressed from the neck up. We did our thing, we are glowy, all the things. But I felt it important to bring this group of ladies to you guys, not just because they're my people, all the things. It's because of the richness of what they bring to the table, each one of them. They're exceptional people, they're exceptional leaders, mothers, all of the things. They bring it all. And I believe that's value. And I'm always about bringing value to the podcast, no matter what piece of the conversation that gets introduced to you guys. So thank you for joining us today on The Dynamic Pause with Coach Angie, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take a pause in the moment, breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with, the clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment, breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with, the clarity is potent.